I'm Mark Adams, and welcome to episode 56 of Marksmess Podcast with my daughters Charlotte and Katherine.
Katherine and Charlotte.
Charlotte and Katherine.
Katherine and Charlotte.
Where we look at the world of geekery, especially looking at Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the cartoon, and this time it's Everything is Wonderful. If you would like to contact us, you can by email at
mymarksmess@gmail.com.
on Twitter
And Marksmess Podcast at the T.
and on our Facebook.
Marksmess Podcast.
And you're very welcome and very caught up. It feels like forever since we actually podcasted, but it wasn't actually that long ago. The girls have been extremely busy. Katherine, what have you been doing?
Revision.
Charlotte, what have you been doing?
Revision.
It's been revision central here. Big exams this year for both the girls, so I'm very glad they're able to come and join me for this. The last time we podcast, we just watched Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings, and we didn't get a chance to talk about it in the podcast. And in fact, this time we've just watched The Eternals, and these are coming thick and fast. First of all, tell me your non-spoilery review of Shang-Chi.
Very, very good.
Oh, 3-word one. What about you, Charlotte?
Very, very, very good.
Oh, you thought it was better than... Okay, what's your short non-spoilery review of Eternals?
My jaw was on the floor. Not literally, but metaphorically.
Figuratively. That's okay. Katherine?
I thought it would be better.
Yeah.
Oh.
We all went to see Shang-Chi together, and it was really good. Typical Marvel movie, lots of action. I liked the surprise, for me it was a surprise person from Iron Man 3 who was in it. Won't spoil it for anyone, this is non-spoilery. The Eternals, Charlotte went with her friends, and Katherine and I went last night, a week later than Charlotte. Charlotte came home really raving about it, jaw on the floor stuff. We went, and it wasn't quite what we expected.
No.
And I think it's to do with who you went with. If you go with somebody you like, you probably enjoy it a lot more.
I agree.
Yeah. But, no, it was good. I think it's one with me, the more I think about it, the better it gets in my head.
Well, you see, I had my expectations very low. Well, not very low, but low because there was so many articles. She's like, this is the worst Marvel movie yet, blah, 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 blah. So I went in with my expectations low, but you went in with yours higher, I think, because I had raved about it.
I think so. I think
that could have been it.
Also, the Eternals aren't really a well-known group. I haven't read much about them. Cersei I've read in the Avengers comics. What do you call the speedster? Makari. I had in Quasar comics, who was a surfer dude. So he changed from being a surfer dude to a deaf lady. A lady who's deaf. But I enjoy the Marvel movies, the way they change characters to fit the medium.
I saw this thing where they're having to explain for the new characters now why they haven't killed Thanos.
Why they weren't involved in it.
Yeah.
Before.
So with the Eternals, there was an in-universe reason for it.
What was Shang-Chi's?
He wasn't about it. It was set after.
Yeah.
So he was, a guy who was quite fit, but he didn't have any powers.
No. He could do one-on-one combat, but he couldn't do thousands swarming.
Yeah.
You should just have all, the personal trainers from all the gyms join them.
You think
what against Thanos? All the personal trainers, all the
do
gym
better.
That is silly. This year we've had 4 Marvel films. Name them, Katherine.
Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, and Spider-Man No Way Home.
Charlotte, we have had 5 TV series this year. Name them.
WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, What If, and Hawkeye, which is coming Christmassy soon with the dog.
Yeah, coming soon. That is a total of 9 things. I mean, basically movies. The TV series are like big, long movies because of such good quality. Thinking back to 2008, the first Iron Man, you had to wait quite a while for the next MCU thing. In fact, we didn't even have the term MCU at the time. Is it better now that you have so much, or was it better that you had a wait in between them all?
No.
Sorry, that was... You may need to explain that, no?
I think it's better to have, like, a few of them all spaced out, rather than having them all at once, because then, like, you've just finished it, and you've just thought about it, and then there's a new one, and you don't really have time to think about it. And, like, because it's like, you know the way when nothing's been out for a while, you decide to rewatch it, and then, like, you notice other things that you didn't notice the first time.
Yeah,
but you don't really do that, because there's a new one out now, so you're watching that one.
Okay, Charlotte?
Well, I'm yes, but the smidgen of no. Yes, because it means more Marvel movies and more Marvel content. So it means the universe is growing, and I like the way they're introducing new characters with this Phase 4.
Phase 4.
Phase 4. But no, because I feel like because we don't have Disney Plus on the regular, I have to block every single Marvel social media so they don't spoil it, because they spoiled WandaVision for me and I learnt my lesson, so I blocked them all. And now the only time I'll be able to unblock them is when I've watched all. It'll probably be when we've caught up. By the time.
It'll be New Year by the time we catch up.
No, by the time we catch up, it'll be in the middle of Hawkeye, which will be like December.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had them blocked since like.
You might as well just unfollow them at this point, to be honest.
But for me, it's a foreshadowing thing. At the end of Iron Man, there was Nick Fury foreshadowing something. We had to wait 2 movies for that to come out in Iron Man 2. And Hawkeye and Thor, which we watched last night as a family, you had Hawkeye for like seconds on the screen, and we had to wait 2 movies for that to come out. As in something bigger, really see who Hawkeye is. Now, when you have foreshadowing, like at the end of the Black Widow, there was your woman Valerie.
No, I think that was her name.
That wasn't her name, Valerie.
Some purple-haired woman.
Who was recruiting people.
And she was in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah. But when's that gonna come out? Because there's 9 movies or 9 MCU things this year. Is it going to be 2 years before we find out about that? Which will be a lot of programs and movies.
My theory is that it will be in Hawkeye because the colour scheme for that is purple.
But that's Hawkeye's colour scheme.
There was also at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, the end credit, where
Which one? There was like 20.
The one with your gold women.
Oh yes.
They never introduced that.
Yeah, that's going to come out. That the Adam Warlock thing.
It was where
So much I
your
want to say.
It was where your gold woman was. She created a new way of creating people, and she goes, and I shall call him Adam.
And it'll be Adam Warlock. It'll come out in probably the next. What? That's the one you're talking about. The one she created.
Explain.
In the comic books, I learnt about him through the Infinity Gauntlet.
I recognise the name.
And he is kind of the perfect human, and he went about with Gamora, Drax, Pip the Troll, say nothing, Pip the Troll, and they were the Infinity Watch. They looked after the Infinity Stones.
They have watches.
And they had watches.
Did they?
No, they didn't have watches. They had no time in their hands.
It'd be on my wrist.
If Wonder wears one, would it be a witch watch?
Which watch where?
Oh, okay.
Where's
So out of the new stuff, we know Hawkeye's coming the end of this month, Spider-Man next month. Next year, we just had 3 mini trailers, what do you call sneak peeks?
Teasers.
Teasers at Ms. Marvel, She-Hulk, and Moon Knight. Which one of those 5 things are you most looking forward to?
What are the 5? Only in 3.
Hawkeye, Spider-Man, Far From Home, is it? No, it's not Far From Home.
No
Way Home. Ms. Marvel, She-Hulk, and Moon Knight. Which one are you most excited about?
I don't know what Moon Knight is, but I'm looking forward to Spider-Man.
Professor Allen says Moon Knight is basically Batman in the MCU and the Marvel universe. So, as far as I know in the comics, and I haven't read much about him, he is a person with 3 personalities and Moon Knight, and he dresses up as in a white outfit.
That's like the opposite of Batman, though.
Oh yeah, Oscar Isaac seems perfect for that. He's the guy who's playing him.
The outfit kind of looks like the one from Black Widow. Or the
Ghost.
Yeah.
Ghost. Yeah. So which one are you looking forward to, Charlotte?
I'm going to rank them top to bottom.
Okay, go for it.
Top is Ms. Marvel. Second is Hawkeye because it's Christmassy, but it's tied very close with Spider-Man. Then She-Hulk, although She-Hulk shouldn't be fourth, I think. And then Moon Knight.
Okay. Katherine, have you got any preferences?
Spider-Man?
Spider-Man, you're Spider-Man.
Rate them all, women.
She's not meant to rate them all. You just decided that off your own bat. You did that extra work for no extra credit. Let that be a lesson in your exams.
You don't get paid any extra for this now.
I don't get paid.
You don't get paid?
Yeah.
What are you getting paid?
Shush. For me, I'm looking forward to Hawkeye because it looks a lot of fun. Spider-Man.
There's a dog.
I'm interested to see what they do with She-Hulk. Miss Marvel. Yeah. So it's quite. We live in great times to be a comic book fan.
Yes,
definitely. So, what else have you been watching, or reading, or anything else?
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who Flux is now on. We have seen the second one. After we record this, we'll go and see the 3rd episode.
Yes.
So we've been keeping off the social media for the past hour.
I did get a spoiler there now, though.
Oh, you twit. Don't spoil it for anyone else. How have you found Doctor Who Flux?
The first episode was kind of confusing because there's like a lot going on.
Yeah.
And the dog costume's a bit weird. But I think Dan's a good companion because he fills a little gap.
Mm-hmm.
I like the dog.
Yeah, I like the dog as well. He was
reminds me a wee bit of Hacker. No, Dodge.
Who's Dodge?
From CBBC.
Right, so basically a children's television continuity announcer.
Not Hacker T-Dog. Dodge. I can't remember his last name. Are you looking it up?
Dodge T-Dog?
I've been watching the Bake Off, the Great British Bake Off.
Yeah, a big
not baking show. It's Bake Off.
Yeah, in America, I think it's called something else.
Baking show for copyright reasons, but it's Bake Off. It's British. It's the Bake
Great British Bake Off, so it's called the Great British Baking Show in America.
Yeah,
it's just a name. It's just a name.
It's wrong.
It's just a name.
The wrong.
It's just a name. Who do you think is the best one this year?
Me.
Well, I liked what was she called?
Freya.
No. I did like Freya. She was the vegan one. I liked her. I also liked...
Was it the one last time?
Yeah,
Lizzie.
Right.
I liked Lizzie as
Scouser.
well. Aye.
But
I like the way Freya used to say, I know it's a bit of a faff, isn't it?
That's okay.
It's weird this year because I found a lot of them on TikTok and it's weird.
Okay.
They must be brothers.
Yeah, they're brothers.
Then why didn't you say that? Because I knew it was Hacker T-Dog.
Anyway, it would be T-Dog.
Not
Obviously,
necessarily.
It's going to be if they're brothers, it's going to be T-Dog.
Brothers.
That's great. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it does look like Dodge.
I've been watching some old TV, definitely old to you too. Quantum Leap. Back in the late 80s, early 90s, Quantum Leap was one of the sci-fi shows to watch. And it had Sam jumping through time in his own lifetime into other people's bodies and then fixing what once went wrong with the help of his holographic friend Al.
Can he fix my eye levels?
So you want him to jump into your body, be you sitting at the desk ready to do the...
Just do the exams for me and get
Do you know what
good.
he'd say as soon as he jumped in? Oh boy. Because that was his catchphrase. And every time you see the actor on TV, you want him to say, oh boy, when it's a tricky situation. Because he's been on a Star Trek show and
is he American?
NCIS. Oh, yes.
He might not know much about Northern
Ireland. Well, he'd jump into the lives of people in Northern Ireland, then come back. He can't control where he goes. I was a bit scared about watching it because of decided not to watch it for over the past 10 years in case it was just nostalgia making it really good and it didn't really work anymore. It still works. It's still really good. Charlotte, you've been in the room when it's on. You find it a bit weird because you're also watching your TikToks.
I don't want, no.
Your TikToks?
No, it's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. now.
Your Snips chat?
It's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. now.
It's like, you know, when Into the Spider-Verse, when you can see all around the city, everything's the same but different. There's even a movie Star Planet alternative.
Okay.
Oh, I've started whatever season it is in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with the is it Ghost
Rider
and Ada. I forgot about Ada. and it's the
what? Have you seen any of it?
And it's the episode with those ghosts that make your face, but they make the eyes go all weird and the mouth. But it reminds me a lot. You know, remember in Doctor Strange where the people's like face went weird, the bad people.
No.
Do you not remember? Their face was like purpley. It was coming from their eyes and mouth.
Oh, yeah.
It looked like that, which I thought was quite interesting. Yeah. There's a connection.
But there's no connection between that world and the MCU anymore.
They keep on mentioning, like, stuff that's happened, like Ultron. And the Sokovia Accords is a big one in this one, because they got a new director. Which I recognise from somewhere, but I don't know who it is.
I've got a feeling we've just got Disney Plus again for the first time in months. So we're going to be binging on Loki and What If and things like that.
A while ago I started a show called The Gifted, which is set in the same like universe as the X-Men. So I've been watching it again, and I realised that they say about the X-Men, but then they say about how they're not around anymore.
Aye. Well, that's a good way of not having to pay Hugh Jackman millions of pounds to appear for 10 seconds.
Just have a cardboard cutout of him in the background.
But with adamantium edges to it. I've been watching Star Wars Bad Batch, and I found it very good. Anyway, listen, I tell you what, before we get into the Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes cartoon, let's have a quick break. We'll play a couple of really good promos from good shows. We're not going to play our own, because that's like 10 years old, and you both sound very squeaky. Hello, my name's Charlotte. I'm Katherine. It's a bit like that, but that's just the way it goes. So we'll see you in a couple of minutes. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Kyle Benning, and I love comics. In fact, I love them so much that I ramble on about them on a number of podcasts, all on one feed, found under the King Size Comics Giant Size Fun banner. I talk about comics with extra page counts, like Treasury Comics, Prestige format books, DC's Dollar Comics, Marvel's Giant Size Specials and King Sized Annuals, and much, much more. I also love to talk about DC's Crisis on Multiple Earth crossovers, free comics from special promos, Free Comic Book Day, Star Wars, my life as a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan, random comic book back issues, and many other elements of geek culture that happen to strike my fancy. There's new content usually dropping at least once a week, and it's all found on one feed. You can subscribe via iTunes, just search for King Size Comics Giant Size Fun in the iTunes Store or podcast app on your iPhone. Otherwise, you can follow the podcast at the King Size Comics Giant Size Fun blog headquarters, available at www.kingsizecomicsgiantsizefun.blogspot.com. That's all one word, kingsizecomicsgiantsizefun.blogspot.com. Or follow on Facebook by simply searching for King Size Comics Giant Size Fun. So for snappy review and discussions on comics, new and old, usually done from the front seat of my car or my lunch break at work, check out King Size Comics Giant Size Fun.
Hi, I'm Ruth.
And I'm Darren of the Rad Adventures Network.
We're a married couple who enjoy great stories of all kinds, including adventures, mysteries, science fiction, and fantasy.
Please join us for a variety of podcasts focused on a range of pop culture topics.
Trekker Talk is about 23rd century bounty hunter Mercy St. Clair from the comic Trekker by writer and artist Ron Randall. It's a blend of classic sci-fi adventures and noir mysteries set in a retro future.
Xenozoic Xenophiles is about the comic Xenozoic Tales by writer and artist Mark Schultz. It's a post-apocalyptic adventure series filled with Cadillacs and dinosaurs.
Warlord Worlds covers the many comics of writer and artist Mike Grell, including The Warlord, John Sable, Green Arrow, and the Legion of Superheroes.
Sensational Sleuths, where we talk about favorite mystery novels, movies, and TV shows.
Fantastic Fantasies, where we share our favorite fantasy films and books.
And Amazing Adventures, where we discuss action-packed adventure stories.
Listen on Podbean, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and YouTube. And follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Or visit radadventuresnetwork.com to find all of our shows and links to our social media pages.
That's RAD, R-A-D, which is short for Ruth and Darren.
Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, Everything is Wonderful. This synopsis comes from Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes.fandom.com. Enraged by Tony Stark buying out his company, Simon Williams contacts his brother, who is a Grim Reaper, and we've met him before, for help in taking revenge. The Reaper takes him to AIM, where MODOK offers him an experimental treatment that will transform him into a deadly being of ionic energy, if he survives. Meanwhile, Wasp and Thor chase a group of AIM scientists, showing up just in time to disrupt the experiment, causing Simon to become Wonder Man. Meanwhile, Captain America meets up with Nick Fury and retrieves his old motorbike that he left behind 70 years ago. And Tony's treatment of Simon has him butting heads with Hank Pym, the Ant-Man. They all come together for a fight against Wonder Man, only for Wonder Man to end up dispersing his ionic power into the atmosphere. Something like that. Anyway, so what did you think? First of all, what did you think of the storyline?
Who's Grim Reaper? We can't remember.
In the very first one with Iron Man, the Grim Reaper is being brought into one of the prisons, and he works for Baron von Strucker. What?
In the show, The Gifted, von Strucker?
Von Strucker?
That's the last name of the main characters, and there's they have...
Two of them?
Yeah.
The von Strucker twins.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, they're twins.
When they're together, they've got powers. Yeah.
Whoa!
That's just blown your mind.
And there's
with that.
evil ancestry.
Yeah, that'll be Baron von Strucker. The Barons von Strucker going back centuries.
I find it very confusing at the start because it starts in the middle and then goes to start and then plays through.
That's a very good storytelling technique.
I looked it up and it's called it looks like it's called In Medias Res or something to do with that.
Okay, cool.
Well, I thought the story was good. I didn't write anything down about it though.
You didn't write anything down.
Sure.
Basically, there were four elements to the story. There was the Tony and Hank having a discussion about how Tony treated Simon. Do you think Tony treated Simon fairly?
No, because he didn't tell him anything that was going on.
He didn't seem to pay attention to him. And
No, he was busy doing tippity type stuff.
yeah. Well, which I thought was very unfair. Then he gets pouty at the end because, I was going to tell him. Well, why didn't you? Why didn't you pay attention?
He does sound like Robert Downey Jr. in that, though. I don't know if it is him.
No, it's not him.
It sounds a lot like him.
It wouldn't be him. You've also got Captain America meeting with Nick Fury to get his motorbike back.
Get you someone that looks at you the same way Captain America looks at his motorbike.
Yeah, I think Nick Fury was getting a bit, uncomfortably being in the same room as the two of them. They were a wee bit, yeah. So, yeah, that was a nice thing to happen. And he comes in later on the motorbike wearing a helmet.
He looks like Mr. Incredible.
It does a bit. Upside down triangle.
Or
Aye.
blonde hair.
Or like Fred from Scooby-Doo.
He just needs a cravat.
He has the same personality kind of as well.
Yeah, just dry.
Well, he wants to build traps all the time. Tony, let's build a trap. Okay. The third one is Thor and Wasp teaming up. What did you think of that as a team up?
I thought they were good because they just went with everything. Just there's some evil people. Let's fight them rather than
It was all about
should
the
we fight
adventure with the both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is quite nice. This brings in some characters that we haven't seen in the MCU, so you don't really know about them. MODOK.
Oh, the one that looks like a head.
Yes, with the
The
wee
one that
tiny
is a
arms.
head. You know, Okay, go.
So I have this game on my Switch called Cave Story Plus, and there is one character who he's hired by the evil person, but he's kind of like not really evil, if you know what I mean. And he looks exactly like that, kind of, just like the box.
Okay.
You know what he looks like? He looks like when, you know, around Halloween when like these Instagram families do the thing where they put the baby in the pumpkin. Have you ever seen that?
I am aware of that.
Well, he looks like that.
Okay.
But what he sounds like, well, first of all, those yellow hazmat people, they look like the hazmat things out of Monsters Inc. That go like code S20 something.
Yeah.
And
Or like highlighters.
yeah. But he sounds like your slug lady from Monsters Inc. because he he sounds like, I'm watching you, Mike Wazowski.
Right, MODOK, I don't know that much about him, but he's been in the comics since the early 60s, fought against Captain America, he fought against other Avengers. MODOK is an acronym. MODOC. Do you know what it means? You'll never get it.
Massive. M-O. Massive orange. M-O-D. Decoy.
Okay, how about the fact that he isn't orange? There's a clue that the O is not
is he not
orange.
orange?
No.
My question is, what species is he? Like, are they all really big heads, or do they actually have bodies?
He's human and he was experimented on, right? So it stands for mental organism designed only for conflict.
There should be an F then.
I think somebody really wanted to spell out MODOK. MODOK.
The four's just a letter, but it's a number.
No, it's a number.
But it's a silent number, so you don't
A
pronounce it.
silent number. Yeah, I've done a few. Anyway, right. He hasn't been in the MCU yet. Probably there is a cartoon out there on. It's one of these sort of silly cartoons, so it's not really MCU.
He's like the face of Boo.
He's like the face of Bo. He is. If face of Bo had hands and wanted to conquer.
You know he said that Captain America fought him?
Yeah.
Imagine, so you've been frozen in ice all these years. You wake up and you see his massive head.
I don't think it's the first thing he met. The first thing he saw was
New York or something.
Wasp, Iron Man, Thor, and
Oh wait, that's in the movie.
and Ant-Man.
Yeah.
So those guys. What did you think of Wonder Man?
It looked like glitter glue.
He did. Wonder Man's been about a long time as well. He's got a very long history of not being a character. Honestly, he appeared in Avengers number 9 way back in 1964, and as a villain and a one-off. He died at the end, and according to Stan Lee, DC sued them because it was too close to Wonder Woman. So they thought, no, we won't use it again.
Wait, did DC not have a Wonder Boy? He's like a water boy.
Aqua Boy.
Oh.
Aqua.
Did they have?
I don't know. They've got
Oh, it was what you call it? Robin was called Wonder Boy.
yeah, the Boy
That's
Wonder.
isn't it?
He's called the Boy. Anyway,
No,
back to what I'm talking about.
Sorry.
Right, so he died in Avengers 9 and Avengers 58 in 1968. 4 years later, they said that they saved his mind onto, I don't know, a floppy
pen drive.
disk, the equivalent of a pen drive, a reel-to-reel tape. And in 1972, another 4 years, in Avengers 102, you saw him in a comatose state. And in Avengers 131, 132 in 1975, he was revived by Kang the Conqueror. And in Avengers 152, he was revived again by Black Talon, and that was
Doesn't he have to be
1976.
dead to be revived?
Yeah, he died each time.
Sorry, you never said
Right?
that.
He died again at the end of that. So he died after Kang revived him. He died again after Black Talon killed him. And that same year, he was revived in Avengers Annual number 6 by the Living Laser. And he hung about with the Avengers then, and he joined the Avengers in Avengers 160. And he was a prominent member in Avengers West Coast when they split the team up, and they had one in the West Coast and the East Coast. We have to, when you talk about Wonder Man, you have to talk about fashion. In the very beginning, he put on a suit to go into a chamber. Remember, he wore a colourful suit. What was the main colour?
Green. Because green and purple are villain colours.
Exactly. That is what it looked like in the comic book, so it was quite comic book accurate. So when he died each time...
Looks like a weird Christmas jumper.
It is weird. This isn't the weirdest one he wore. When he came back after a while with the Avengers, he decided to go with something a little less obvious. He basically wore a safari jacket and big boots and wore sunglasses because his eyes glow.
He looks like the type of person you'd find just randomly in the middle of the street who'd offer you, like, I don't know.
Well, what's he going to offer you, Katherine?
Like some gold chains or something.
Gold chain. Hey, what about some cool gold chains? Okay, after that, he decided to go more superhero-y. That's what it was.
What's the gold bit? Are they
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
The gold bit is rockets to the back. It's basically a green bodysuit, red boots and red gloves with a crisscross W and M Wonder Man. So no glasses.
He looks like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
He does.
He does.
Either that or your green boy.
That looks like the shell.
This one did not last long. Who knows why? And
Copyright.
The classic one is this, which is his wee black vest with the W, and yep.
Who owns Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
I don't know.
Huh.
I think they're independent operators.
But
yep.
he looks like Wolverine a bit in this.
Does not look like Wolverine at all.
He looks like someone.
It looks like Wonder Man.
He's got blue hair.
No,
that's
that's
a highlight. Yeah.
If you look at the dog's fur, it's no, like the highlights on it. They aren't white; they're blue.
Some of them are.
The dog has got black fur. Just to let you know, black and tan.
We do not have a blue dog.
Right, and so those were never. The only one that was shown was this one, the very first one, the green weird one.
Oh, there's Roman in the background.
Yep.
Your three musketeers in the background.
That's exactly right. That's three of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a wee moment. And then he ended up like this. He was killed at the end of Avengers West Coast. It turned into Force Works, and he got killed. He came back as this Ionic.
The glitter, it looks glittery.
Sparkly, Captain Sparkly.
It really looks sparkly, the red W.
Catherine, you're the scientist. Explain to us what Ionic is.
I don't know what that is, but I know what ionic bonding is.
What is Ionic bonding?
So it's where you have a non-metal and a metal.
Right, like adamantium and wood.
Wood's not. Anyway.
No, wood is not a metal. Metal and a non-metal.
Right. So then the metal has on the outside, so there's little rings of electrons.
10 rings.
No. And the number you want is 8. But the metal has an extra ring with like say 2 on it, and the non-metal has one with like 2 less. So then the metal gives the electrons to the non-metal, and then they make a substance thing.
I remember doing about that
Wow. No idea what she's talking about.
I remember doing about that.
That is a very...
Yeah.
For anyone who is actually scientific, please don't judge me.
No, I think that was very well explained.
Thank you.
And I still have no idea.
Non-sciencey people.
Okay, and at the very end, he gets recruited by the Enchantress, who has a big axe guy and Baron Zemo. Helmut Zemo. Da, da, da. I always think about Helmut Zemo dancing at the disco.
In the club.
The discotheque. That's what it was when I was young, the discotheque. Anyway, so...
Moving on!
I noticed when the Wasp was flying with Thor, she had her palms out, which I thought that is the least aerodynamic way.
That was really weird.
She doesn't want to go too fast. Thor just throws his hammer and holds on.
Maybe because she like slams into a wall.
That's
You know the way like when you're about to fall, you put your hands out.
Do you know what my favourite line from this movie, this one was?
I think I know.
I tire of these geeks.
That was funny. That was.
We should get that as a ringtone or something.
Also, when the Wonder Man guy like basically dissolves, and then Iron Man's just like, this is not what I wanted.
Yeah, he goes straight back to I.
Very self-absorbed, more self-absorbed than he is in the movies.
Yeah. Nick Fury talks about S.H.I.E.L.D. as if it's just this wee, like, get-together.
It's just we, like,
Just this
club.
Just this wee, just organisation called S.H.I.E.L.D. Definitely not a big thing that has helicarriers in the sky.
Well, they don't anymore because they all kept falling out of the sky. I mean,
I do have a question.
You ask your question.
How, your boy Modok,
Yes.
how does he cut his hair?
How does he go to the toilet? Who
How does
knows?
he cut his... Does he use, like,
He
a
wears a
lawnmower?
Ma-
Your weight stripper thing?
Maybe we'll find out. We
It's a wee
won't,
haircut.
but maybe we will.
You know the way Iron Man's armour just falls off, basically, when it's tapped? Would it not dent? Or could he not make stronger armour that isn't made of, like, pasta?
I have another thing about Iron Man's suit. It's like, the big one he's in?
Yeah.
It kind of looks like Lego.
Right.
Because there's little, like, holes in the feet.
Oh, okay.
Also,
that's where the jet's coming from.
You know the guy Simon?
Yeah, Simon Williams.
He reminds
Wonder Man.
He reminds me of that, that one guy in Iron Man 2, where, like, the guy waits from at the top of the building.
Oh, that's
and he
Iron
never-
Man 3, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
kind of reminds me of him.
Guy Pearce is the actor. Yes.
Patrick Pierce.
Guy Pearce.
Guy
Not,
Fury.
you keep your
Guy
Irish history out of this.
Oh yeah, you know the factory that your boy's ship went out of?
Yeah, okay.
Why did they build it like a Victorian factory? It was Victorian style.
Okay. I didn't notice that.
You know the way that Captain America said about his regulation hair length?
Yeah,
Maybe he just really wants long hair.
that's true.
Maybe he's
Maybe
jealous of Thor.
Maybe he wants a man bun.
You don't like man buns.
I'm not keen on them, but, it's all these young guys.
Jealous.
Yeah,
We'll get
that's
you
probably it.
got a wee wig for Christmas.
Could you do that for me?
Ah.
That'd be good.
Wait, we'll...
No, not out of the dog's hair.
Aw. I noticed at the office that Tony Stark was in looked the exact same one as in the movies.
Did it?
Yeah, well,
Oh.
it was just more there was a big desk and the chair had it back to big windows.
Well, it might have been because this was made after the first Iron Man movie, so they might have used some of the designs of that. So what did you think of Everything is Wonderful?
I think everything was wonderful.
Do you like it?
Aye.
Right, it wasn't my favourite of the whole thing. I think the next few
alright.
coming up are a lot better. In fact, not next time, but the time after that. It's a two-parter, and I really like that one because it brings certain characters back into it. I will say no more, but next time we have a character that I grew to love because of this cartoon.
Who?
That is the Black Panther. Before that,
We
I just
had
went,
a wee bit of him.
We've had a wee bit of him so far.
Was he?
He
What
was.
happened with him? Was he exiled or something?
We'll find out next week.
Definitely not be next week.
Well, sorry, we'll find out next time.
Next season.
Hopefully it'll be sooner than later. I know Catherine's got exams coming up.
Next time we will have a big update with all our Marvel watching.
Yes.
It'll probably be after Spider-Man comes out, so we'll probably have seen Spider-Man, What If,
This
Loki,
is becoming
and
a
Hawkeye.
really big Marvel podcast. Remember when we used to have other things on
It
apart
will
from Marvel?
It will probably be around Christmas,
No,
to be
it's-
honest.
It's since we engulfed Catherine into the Marvel universe.
That's true. It's just become Marvel.
Yeah.
And Julie...
I do try and sprinkle a bit of Disney, but I get shot down every time.
Sorry, just a wee update for the people listening who follow Julie's Marvel watching. She has watched Iron Man 2, and we watched Thor last night, and she gave it an 8.76. So she did enjoy that. Next time, I don't know how she's going to cope with Captain America, the First Avenger, because
Captain America.
it's a really good movie, but will she like it? We'll have to
I
find
think she
out.
will because it's historic.
I
That's true.
say we skip to Iron Man 3.
Would you
I
be
say
quiet?
we don't.
Because if it's got Avengers to do.
Iron Man 3?
Avengers. Anyway, listen,
like
folks,
Black
thank you
Widow.
very much for joining us. If you would like to contact us, you can, indeed. You can tell us what you think about Wonder Man and your memories of him, or you can tell us if you think
Wonder
Julie
Boy.
should just...
No, it's Wonder,
What? There's no Wonder Boy.
I thought it was Wonder Boy.
Wonder Man!
No, the boy Wonder. Robin is the boy
I thought
Wonder.
it was Wonder Boy this whole time we were talking about.
But, oh yeah, I forgot. I didn't finish off that story about Stan Lee.
We never started it.
I did, about Wonder Man. They were sued by DC
Oh, yeah.
because of Wonder Woman. A few years later, Marvel had a character called Power Man, who was the first African-American superhero.
Oh, is that
yeah,
your boyo? Spider-Man boyfriend.
No.
Oh.
No. I don't know. What? Anyway.
Spider-Man's the friend, he had his name as a Superman, or
Iron-
his super title.
No,
Not
not
Iron
so.
Fist. Not Buckethead. Not your
Oh yeah, but
colleague.
yes, in that cartoon Power Man, yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, there it was.
Thank you.
Sorry. You are confusing me with real, fake things and the comic book. So that Power Man and DC brought out Power Girl,
Oh.
and they went like, let's just use Wonder Man because it's a good character. Let's just use it, and DC can go to pot.
Because if DC tries to do that, they'll go,
Well. Power Girl's the one you don't like because of the.
Oh, that terrible costume.
Yes, that's the one.
It's got a cut out here.
Yes.
Just
Black
where
bit.
her bar.
And they keep making the bigger. It's terrible.
Honestly,
Anyway,
she'd fall over because of them.
if you'd like to contact us, not about Power Girl, because that would be traumatic for Charlotte, you can by email at,
mymarksmess@gmail.com.
on Twitter,
At Marksmess Podcast without the T.
and on our Facebook page.
Marksmess Podcast.
Thanks to Josh Woodward of joshwoodward.com for the title music. And join us next time when we talk more about the geekery that we've been watching, reading, and listening to, and a bit more of Avengers, Our Smartest Heroes.
Just for posterity.
For posterity? You're holding up your hand with 4 fingers. That's what you did.
No,
For posterity?
just for posterity, today is the 14th of November. So when you'll get this, who knows?
Okay, I can edit that bit out.
No,
That's
you will
okay.
not.
You don't listen.
I'll
You don't
comment
care.
on it.
See, it's actually 1st of January.
Yes, it's.
Happy New Year!
Yes, it's 2014. Okay, folks, have a great time, and we'll talk to you again hopefully next month. Bye.
I tire of these geeks.